Hello everyone. Today we are going to implement a way to save and load these settings, these gameplay options. So if I apply this and go back to another tab and come back, the changed options are there. And if I completely stop the game and go back, the changes are there. So changes are put properly saving and also loading. Also I'm gonna implement this reset to default option, so we can reset the values. And also if I try to go to another tab without saving these settings, we will get this request. So right, let's see how to do those things today. And this episode is sponsored by these generous patrons. Thank you very much for the support. Right, so at the moment we have implemented gameplay UI and we have difficulty settings and aim in mode settings. Oh, this should be simple. Auto reload, invert mouse Y axis, mouse sensitivity X and Y. So we have those things. Right, now even though we have implemented the UI, we haven't implemented actual functionality yet. So let's do that today. Right, so let's get started. So first we have the difficulty, and here actually we don't have any difficulty changes in our game at the moment, but let's create a function in the game instance through the game instance interface. So here let's add a function set difficulty. Right, so the input would be an integer that defines the difficulty level. And we can use this parameter later on to modify the parameters such as health levels, getting hit probabilities, so the speed of the reload time, such various things to derive based on the difficulty level, so that we can change the difficulty of the actual game. But at the moment we don't have it, so let's only set this value in the game instance. Also with that we need another one to get difficulty. Right. Or actually instead of set difficulty, we can define a command function like this: set save gameplay options, and instead of get difficulty we can actually reuse this get options. So here we should be able to access all the gameplay related settings as well, but we need to modify the save options. Here we need to add difficulty level and other stuff that related to the gameplay option: difficulty, aim in mode, auto reload, mouse X, mouse Y, sensitivity. Right, so let's modify this. So these are volumes and this subtitle, these are audio options. So let's define a category audio and put all of these things in here. Right, now let's add difficulty. This should be an integer. By default it will be 0. And next, 𝐴𝐻 mode. This should be an integer, sorry, boolean. As the tooltip for description, yeah, let's use true means toggle, false mean hold to aim. So we have to hold right mouse button to keep in the aim mode. Once we release the mouse button, we will go out of the aiming mode. Okay, what else we need? Auto reload. Let's make it true by default. The gun will be automatically reloaded. And invert mouse axis. Right, and another float variable. This should be false by default. Yeah, mouse X sensitivity. This should be a float. And mouse Y sensitivity. Right, now for this, let's define a category. Gameplay. Let's make this audio options and this gameplay options. Right. Okay, compile default value. What's this? Let's make it 1. Right. So default mouse X sensitivity and Y sensitivity is 1. And to be safe, let's clamp these values between 0.1 and 2. Right, should be for both. Okay. Now let's go back to gameplay options, and here let's implement apply option. Did I already implement the interface? No. Let's implement option panel. Right, now we can implement apply event. So first I'm going to implement this applying and saving and loading of these options without thinking about how to actually make the changes to the gameplay. When I, for example, if I change the mouse to invert Y axis, if I enable it, I'm gonna implement how it actually affects the gameplay later on after implementing the saving part. Okay, so in the apply, now here let's get game instance. and save gameplay options. Oh, here I only implemented difficulty setting. Right, here we need a bunch of other stuff, not just difficulty. Basically all of these parameters that comes under gameplay options. Let me add them one by one. First one is difficulty, then aiming mode, that's a boolean, and photo reload, that's also a boolean, and then invert mouse Y, that's also a boolean, right? Yeah. Then mouse sensitivity X, that's a float. And mouse sensitivity Y, that's also a float, right? Compile. Okay, now we have all of these options, so we can access them. First one is difficulty. Get the difficulty, get level, selected level, like this. And next one is aiming mode. So this is also, here also we can get the level, but this is a boolean, so zero is false and 1 is true. But here let me quickly check the way I implemented it. Aiming mode, toggle, false means toggle, true means hold. Okay, so by default it toggle, right? No problem. And yeah, similarly for the auto reload, option 0 is enabled. Let me interchange this, disabled and enabled, because option 0 should match with the false state. Right, auto reload, what next? Invert mouse Y. Oh, we need to check that. This one should be disabled, next one should be enabled. Right, and mouse X sensitivity, get value. Oh, don't have the value. Alright, but we can get slider and value. Yeah, we can do the similar thing for the other one as well. Mouse Y sensitivity. Okay. All right. Right now, let's look at the game instance and let's implement. So this is save audio settings, save gameplay options. Let's implement this function. Right now, here we have SV options. We can use this macro load options. This macro will make sure if we have either loaded or created SV options subject, and then using this we can set, actually it's not necessary to use that, we can use this SV options variable as well. Set difficulty and set, can't see, set admin mode, set auto reload, set mouse invert, set sensitivity x-axis, oh, didn't I implement Y? Mouse Y, okay. What? Right. Here it's called say N is missing, right? That's why I didn't get the suggestion. Okay. Right. Okay, so saving done here. No, not yet. Where do we call the save setting? Right. Let's promote this to a function. Let's just call it save options. Similarly here, save options. I prefer if it is in the same level. Okay. Right, now similarly we can load the options as well into the gameplay. Here we can access game instance, get options, I'm in mode. Auto reload. Difficulty. And next, invert mouse. Then mouse X sensitivity. Mouse Y sensitivity. Okay. Now the saving and loading of gameplay options should work. Easy. Let me put them into middle and apply and go back and come back. The changes are there. Let me completely stop the game, go to settings, gameplay. See, options are saved. Okay, right, now let's quickly implement the reset option as well. Reset to default. So for that also, these are the values we need. These are the references we need, not the values. And the difficulty, set level, set option level to 0. I'm in mode, set option level, the same thing, 0. For the auto reload also, oh wait, well actually we can use one of these nodes. Difficulty 0, I'm in mode 0. Maybe not. Let's say by default difficulty is medium, which is 1, and we have to change that in, oh, not there. But we have to change it here, 1, that means medium. main mode and auto reload and invert mouse both should have the initial level 1, default level 1. That means 0, not 1. Main mode and mouse sensitivity set value for both should be 0.5. Okay. Alright, that's the reset mode. Now we need one more thing. We need to implement this has unapplied changes in order to determine if we have unapplied changes when you try to go to another tab or when you try to go back in the main menu in the menu, right? So for that also, these are the values we need to compare. We copy them, paste. Right, now here also we have to get game instance, get options, here difficulty, we can compare it with the difficulty that we have in the selector, and this is main mode. Equal to this one. Auto reload equal to the value in the selector. Invert mouse. And X sensitivity. Compare with this value. And Y sensitivity. Compare with this value. Right. Now if all of these are true, that means we don't have any unapplied changes, so we can get a AND of all of these results. If the AND is true, that means we don't have all the settings that we have in the UI and all the settings that we have already saved is same, so that means we don't have any unapplied changes. So okay, here yes means we have changes, no means we don't have changes, so we should get the note of this. Right. Now I think that's all in terms of UI part. Let's see. Let me change something and go here, try to go there. Yeah. Do you want to apply the change settings? If I press no, well, it simply goes there, and when I go back I have these settings. Let me change this and quickly test. Let's make it 1. Go to graphics, no, and come back. Oh, it's not updated. Why? Well, actually I assume this, if I connect it to this construct, this will be called when I add this widget to the viewport, but seems that's not the case. So here let's add a function initialize, and let's call it when we in the open panel. Initialize. Right. Then let's create initialize event and connect it here. Actually, in that case I don't think we need this, but let's just leave them connected. Now the problem should be solved for the gameplay option. Let me change this. When I come back, this should be in the middle. Let's test. It's not. Oh wait, we have, sorry, this is audio option, not the gameplay option. Right, now let's test. Let's make it DC and put this to here. Go back to another panel, option panel, and come back. Right, it is there. Okay, and that option resetting part is working, and we have to add the same initialize event to other options as well. Gameplay option, audio option, graphic option, and that's all we have, right? Yeah. Graphics, let me change to high, and without saving I'll go to display options. And go back. It's still in the epic. Okay, all right, everything is working as intended. Right, so I'm going to stop this episode right here, and as always, project files will be available for the download through Patreon page. Link would be in the description below, and if you like to support my work, you can get the membership of Patreon Club. See you in another episode. Goodbye.